Mimo bibi akwaba eba Melodies TV so yesterday the Supreme Court Judge I friend Yoni Kulendi a decision on the Asifua versus Attorney General case no. Na unim say with majority decision no, the Attorney General won. And then we read the opinion of Yoni Kulendi. A lot of people, in fact, in the comments, no, a lot of people are saying, say, it makes a lot of sense. Now, I want to read an opinion, be a say MPP for a share now a dissenting opinion from Judge be a friend of Professor HJAN Mensa Bonsu, or also a Supreme Court Judge. Now, no a dissenting, ye caso dissenting, not just a no, eka say a Chief Justice, no, I are suspending no. Yemfa nembra na processes na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama washa ase no yembongu na yenhwe the reasons intia ye maami oka se Chief Justice no yemfa nembra ni hu ne se ono ne de no eni Yoni Kulendi de no ye ka embremu a hwan na wode mbra na ye adwuma because ye asem na aba na judges no mienu omo kasa wa asem ne so Yoni Kulendi ne de okasa etre se no kware ni ono de ekono nko a na gade we but embra because Chief Justice ni your sister nanso embra nti also mo yusu mbra ma mi nso ye hweso no nso yusu mbra ana say ono ne de no de arrive at decision say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama constitutionally mandated decision no na nke ni kwan so take ye hwe o say fair treatment to Chief Justice o say knowing the importance of the preservation of judicial independence in a court's ability to protect the citizen against the powerful in the community. Many are the provisions and safeguards provided under the Constitution. It is not for nothing that judges are required to take a judicial oath to administer justice without fear or favor, affection or ill will. How can the judiciary guarantee everyone's constitutional right to fair treatment if it cannot enjoy any such right when allegations of impropriety are made against the head of the institution itself? The people of Ghana would certainly be the poorer for having a judiciary that cannot protect them against the overweening power of the executive. Another class of citizens on whom there would be hardship is the class of persons who have made the decision to serve the country in the role of judges. Perhaps they may be forced to rethink their options and career choices if removing the head of the institution is no more difficult than removing a class prefect of a school from office. Now, utie ye mame nensemo a waka MPP for share ede kasa bono abaso a ye mame asemo a waka ne say one, she's raising issues say Chief Justice no I say the removal of the Chief Justice process no too easy. It is a different conversation. Okay? It is a totally different conversation if you want to have that. But oka say akwa ye easy say ye pesi ye Chief Justice wo krom ha too easy as the ye class prefect free school bi mu. Owie ye no asemo a wosan so kan say ende Chief Justice asemo aba na omo judges no omo ntumi ambo Chief Justice no ne ho ban a da chi bi enkrofo e bia na nko omo nyaa ya omo be ye judges no omo mma medane judges biom because of the AC as a executive no target say omo pese omo edi omo ni si Chief Justice no so e was say judges no sorry na wo mo protect Chief Justice no judges no person be sa. This is what I want to say with Yema Menensemo Awaka. She's a judge. What you say? I would wish, say, because now it looks like Yema is taking the emotional angle. I will wish, say, instead of taking the emotional angle, no. Nanka omayet yasye. The reason why it is unconstitutional. Because listen, the reason why I adhere we aba court and say asefwa efili say eye unconstitutional ofili say etiamra the removal of the Chief Justice process no ofili say especially His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene yema metoko no die ofili say etiamra, right? Okay, I wish say nanka yema mi be tre yen imra no baby a etia other than being emotional. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. But also the people of Ghana would certainly be the be the poorer for having a judiciary that cannot protect them against the overweening power of the executive. Say, baby adie ne dru no, Ghana for ne bebre, because isi ana kwa say Ghana for enya judiciary a omo ebe protect you omo over executive no etumi. You see, when issues come, now we are oversimplifying it like this. We don't even do ourselves good. Me see, you can raise issues and say maybe the removal of the Chief Justice, the process, no, to you, personal issue to you, no, is not cumbersome enough. There's no problem. You can raise those issues. There's no problem. But the truth of the matter is that not the law? Is the law not the law? So because the judiciary, the executive, the legislature, they have never planned, say they will do an amendment to that particular article, that particular law. And now, ye remove Chief Justice, ye who say wait ambra ye use our process no, e dey removing no. And then you better not say, oh, the removal of the Chief Justice process nekrano and try nekran enye cumbersome into you are basing on that and hunti Chief Justice no say my removing no. But that is the law. Embra ewo krum say obi kokowia ebia ade a obi kobokro no a yenchi nintum 10 years. Mo ankasa mfa mbra ne ho. Anye dede amfa mbra ne ho. Osikeni ba ekoko wi ade a ye chi na yese yede ne koto 10 years de efe de obi akasa say oh sa mbra ne kra no enye yensesa because eyo osikeni ba ya chi ne nti afia na mo hu ne say yensesa mbra no ene na ka Ghana krom ha na nanka mbra endi obi aso because nanka mbra chi obi say mbra ne bedi ni pakro ne so a obi abeso ya aka say oh mbra na chi ni pakro ne wi na obi abeso ya aka say oh enye mbra ne kra no enye yensesa. Embra trese ebia politician e cause financial loss to the state. E was say ye chini tum. Ye betwen politician bi be cause financial loss to the state. Ye chini tum we are. Na fe politician e supporters now so say embra na e ka say politician cause financial loss to the state ye chini tum ne kra mbra ne kra na enye ne yensesa. Ya chini wie no. Afianse ye be hu ne say embra na enye ne yensesa. So her issue is that the process to remove the Chief Justice is easy. That's her issue. But does that answer the question? So because the process is easy, does it mean that the action from the president to remove the Chief Justice is unlawful? And I think that is where the main question should be. Because there are two things. Now, can MPP for at the bar court, Supreme Court? Eba beka say, case ayedi aba Supreme Court no. It is because the process is easy. And hunti say ni ebeti asye. But enokra no, yemfa nko Supreme Court because emra. If you think the process is easy, what you do is that moi MPs na more parliament no. Mo na mo bekwa ye amendment of the law. And on the Supreme Court never interpret it because it is already the law. Ya throw wombrani mu de da. Asemo MPP for the bar court and they say unconstitutional. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama processes no wo ye no etia mbra. Ene de aba beto judge nim. Judge no an confirm say process ni tia mbra. Judge ne say process ni ye too easy. But one can say process na tia mbra wo. Or see process ni too easy. Not just a process ni there. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama we dim raso. But judge no based on her own conviction no, the process is too easy. Process ni easy inti no. Enkrofo the case abase etiambra inti no. Mediomo asem atum. Asem ni inti basically that's what the judge is saying. Asem ni the entiambra there. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama process na wo ye no. Wo di process ni so pepepe. Wo odembra na ye adwuma. Now so san say process ni ye easy ni nti no. Omo di case na ba beto me ohene anim. A wo mo ka me say process no ye illegal no. Me fo wo mo so say process ni ye illegal. Even though the process is not illegal, just that I have a different matter. That is exactly what the judge has said. And how see you know, this is an let me tell you a story, right? This is an eye opener. Now, we ama me who say, you see, judge is saying, when him say, Emrana miswano, when I was a kid, Emrana miswano krano. I used to think of certain things. And one of the things I'm dreaming the judicial system of this country. Believe you me, Emrana Miswano, I used to think about the judicial system of this country. And you say biana minimobia wako kota na bibio. But Miswano na dream say obinya asem no de kokota. Judge ne nebe trese nipa kro na asem yede nipa ko na asem nyede. Na judge no ni ho. Na so judge ne na tresa. And ye judges no omo ye nyankopon. Miswano ma adwen no nkola adwen asem amekan no say and the judges no mo ye nyankopon because enkrofo mi no nya asem no mo akọ judge nim na judge no ni ho na judge need to meet say we na nasem ye de na we na nasem nye de nti we ni yanchi ni ntum na we ma yanchi ni ntum dia na say judge no oye nyankopon oni ho kra no no wonim ana oni ho kra no we hu say we na nasem ye de we na nasem nye de. And so when I was a kid, I never thought say judges di asem a omo de omo ankasa omo adwen na di asem. Na menim say judges di asem a omo wo supernatural powers bi a omo di hu asem no mu nekre di asem because that time no na menim say judge no de ono ankasa na adwen na di asem dia and the wrongfully no obetumi achi obi atum and wrongfully no obetumi ama obi a na asem nye de mom na asem aba be ye de. And so based on that thinking ninti na mimitrim no ehiem say judges no omo ye nyankopon omo hu beyond the physical level. Emra minyin kakra ena anas aye me yawa nas eba be ye expose on judges eni ehun say judges etumi je aponchi ema obi anase me nye de ye di ni case amano obia na asem eyede no numum ababedi wababedi for timi hu za expose na na asare me ya wa na ase ye no ene ma adwen sisen na me hu say hey ene say na de ne tepan dia chale then the whole judicial system is a scam. That was my thought. Say, and then the whole judicial system, because listen, I want you to understand. Say, if judges are going to make decisions based on their emotions and not the law, and they are going to make decisions based on the fact, say, maybe me your bar, Chief Justice into your bar, ye know because of your bar, and I say, me can't say judge we the all no. And I said they are not going to make decisions based. I say emotionally. We were ye nipa my and fire sanka no. Because basically that's what this judge is saying. O ye nipa the entire executive for ne de no monsa be kana ye pene momodi o monsa kana o ye nipa my and penny me and fire sanka no. If that is what is going to happen, and we are not going to use the law, Chief Justice we ankasa no ka said the law is the law. Now afi edu ono ne so no, we are not going to use the law. Then I cry for the judiciary of this country. I cry for justice in this country. But what this has made me realize, and they say, judges no, omu di asem a omu di asem no based on sometimes krano omo ba. You see what this has made me realize, and they say sometimes I don't know, but how are you? Okay, let me ask this question. How are you able to know that judge awobet in that case no, the judge is not coming with a preconceived mentality? How are you able to know? Because normally, see, I say judge be di asem na asem na judge ni be di no person di ni finchi ma judge no wo ba e wo say wo ye neutral. Or say wo di ono ankasa na adwen e na eden e di adwumu fine na eba. Because we betie two arguments. Inti se wo ba na wo the preconceived mentality e na eba. Originally no, a party has lost even before the party adding the evidence background we lose. Because judge ni fifi aba no or the na adwen na eba say hey we ye minipa. Inti me di asem na ma we. Utie judge ni nsem a wo kan. Oye nipa. Se ya hwe ni ye ni ye pene ema executive no eyi na da chi bi etrimba wo mo nso pese o mabeda ne judges no o ntumi ma meda ne judges biom. Na che say based on evidence na Attorney General no present here, which was Article 146, the law, I trust a process a president nam so no enye bone no. The judge is not even concerned about that. The judge is concerned say we oye nipa mayenfa yensa anka no. So how are we able to know? Say judge awaba Supreme Court and any other court for that matter, or bar enye conceived mentality, preconceived mentality no deba. Answer na wo betie case ne kra no. Ono de asem we me kodiama asumisi and obenten. How are we able to know? I don't know, but I feel say the way I see the judiciary, Ghanaians don't see it like that. Because listen, these are human beings who, by the stroke of a pen, can change your destiny. And there is nothing anyone can do to them. I just say, but as I see so, there is nothing anyone can. I want you to understand. There is nothing anyone can do to them. Based on omo adwen, based on omo mentality on an issue, based on the emotions, oye nipa, based on the emotions that particular time. You ever say, ebi a judge bi wo ho a, ono okwa awarie mu, nikunu eni ne ndi ne ye. Nti ohun me makra na ne buefu. Na judge na akwa akotena case okotena case no oba bi eni ne kunu asem aba na bia oba ne kra na asem enyede. You see, based on no personal feeling inti no sa judge no udi agra amama kayamra na yewo GSS ye kotro BC no mo ka train say BC na ye kotro no ye mmom pae na mpae bo aye bo no, because sometimes no ye papers na ye tro no obi a o mark paper no ebia na obi a hye nebufu udi na we hu ne se nipa kura wo hye nebufu no okra udi ni bi udi agra ebia unse markers they have their own discretion. Obi wo ho a ebia on hye den twae na so marker no betumi atese wa asem we a waka no it is close to the correct answer until they made the bema one mema half. Tie no sa we no ohwe udi no hu ne say obi a hye nebufu and obi edi ne bone na ye wu the same name na ukita dia. Instead of say obema or marks on the beche on the discretion obe use no the beche no obetitim ti bebi anaka also the che onina no obetitim ti ye wo GSS no na ye katren se ye mmom pae so that obi obenya ye mark bia no oni obi ni asem a okra ye din we the same thing. Inti judge no ono ni situation bi na the same thing ababeto nanim already no e san say ye di ni nti wo be ma no udi agro e bia na wasem ye den so udi agro wasem nye de. And all it takes for the judge is to announce and declare based on my dream no. Asumisi ni obenti na asemi asumisi an obenti na asemi nyede. Ne ya bo asemegu. Ebi announce na wasemi yede. Charlie. And so when a judge is speaking and it is not about the law, but it is really about ebia emotions. It's not about the president ni yen wotiambra, but it's about the fact say oyeye nipa di enti ande yema executive ne di omonsa aka no. Hey, sa ne yeye ne de ende nanka Ghana krom ha. Judges ne nanka mokra monfa monsa nko bia o. You see, when the Chief Justice then removed the electoral commissioner in the person of Charlotte Osei. Charlotte Osei no sebe no ninkrofo. And no, wasn't it the Chief Justice and of finding a prima facie case? The comma president removing Charlotte Osei. And no, wasn't it say Chief Justice in collaboration with the president and a no more touchy a state institution like Charlotte Osei or the EC? That one they saw nothing wrong. Bedroom almost the executive no a power no too much didn't and ye penyama umwe Chief Justice. Meanwhile, in collaboration with the Chief Justice, it was that same executive power in a Kromha, Shraj. The same His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Ye Shraj for a penny in the person of Miss Lamte. And only the executive no mutumi nso. The same His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And you no dear, but the same office, executive branch, no, any Charlotte Osei, and the executive no, omutumi nso. In collaboration with the Chief Justice, and they na mutumi nso. Then the executives no, edumomo so no mu yi Chief Justice ya. Di enti ane ye peni as executive no ye mo mutumi ayed kesi esin ye de dodo. Di enti ane ye peni amasa adi enesi. Hey. And ye Chrome ha obi a taxi driver na ye say okoko ye armed robbery. Na mu ye de ne ba be si judge nim na judge no. Sentence taxi driver and say won kodem for 10 years. Say taxi driver say what Ghana ni na betumi abodom pe makwa kogu Supreme Court. And na judge and na court ho. Aka say di entia na mo judges mo person mo trese mo to me sin yen taxi drivers yen pene. Say basically that's what you are saying, right? I don't know, maybe I am the one not understanding it well, but based on me lawyer, and so based on my scanty knowledge on the law field, no. That is my understanding. Based on the layman's knowledge on the law field, no, that's my understanding. Right? Obi a armed robber. Ni ekoko china. Say armed robbers. Anameboa. Police ni koko dibone. Ni ade no court. Ni si police ni no we dibone nti no. Wonko da mfiase for 5 years. And the Ghana police phone ni na betumi asori etia judges. Say ade mo pese mo trese mo otumi sin ya na de ntia na ye mpene ma mo nchi ye nipa. Say na ye ne de ne Ghana ha na nke ye nchi obi a because every single person belongs to a fraternity, one or the other. Even if you don't belong to a group krana, you have a family. Meboa. Ye kwa kochi obi a the old students ebetumi asori aka say ye de ye mpene ye school we de ye mpene. Ade na mo de mo nsaka ye nipa, mo judges no mo pese mo trese de ye mpene. Ana eno no na nche se judges no omo tre to me over sankrofo no se MP ekoko dibone ne de ne ba be si judge ni na judge di na semo a the whole parliament betumi asori etia the judiciary aka say die ntia na mo pese mo de mo nsaka ye nipa ye mpene. I don't know, maybe me bodam, maybe I'm going mad, but mo amutie me no they making a nimusa. They making a nimusa mo de mon country me. It is not that we are saying say, it is not that the judge is saying say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama embrana wo disono. Eyembra undimbra so eno de ye de wo ye. Judge na semo a wo kan say si ye nim ne epene na Chief Justice ne ba be yi ne dia. Enti Chief Justice ne boni a yesi wedi ne de nye ho ne ye hwe. because oyeye nipa nti me mpene me yemfa yensa nka no nti we di bone kra yenyan no sa nti normal Ghana ni di odi bone no oba judge nim ne de ye ma judges no endi na asem moma yenti ase se ebi mu ye nipa sen ebi mu okrom ha emra no 1992 constitution ne da ho article 17:1 say we are all equal before the law, equality before the law. Every single person is equal before the law. The same constitution say Ghana ni koko di boni a se ni emfa ne mfa so se ni emfa ne mfa so Ghana ni bi koko wi ade a se ni emfa ne mfa so se ni emfa ne mfa so Ghana ni bi ekoko kun obi a se ni emfa ne mfa so se ni emfa ne. The same constitution no. The same constitution say president ensu koko yese ya se ni emfa ne mfa so se ni emfa ne mfa so. The same constitution no. The same constitution say member of parliament be ye bibia yemfa ne mfa kwan we so mfa ne mfa kwan we so. The same constitution say chief justice say ya ono so yemfa ne mfa kwan we so fa ne mfa kwan we so. Na chief justice no aye sa de no. Ne ye ya hwembra no e de na fa kwan ne so a ye se da bi oyeye nipa ma yemfa yensa nka no. Ye de yensa koka na echrimba mo pese mo da ne judges to be hu ne se judges kra no ukoko da ne judge eye easy si ebe you embra na ye di judge ne kra no eye too easy said embra na ye too easy Mahama no ye embra no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama oni ni nua Ibrahim Mahama omo no mo ye embra na na oba beto ye obeda ne president wa ba beto mra. Yes, mbrani ye too easy. Dientia na mbrani ye easy sa. I wished we will not be descend, especially in America no. Let a normal politician be speaking this way. In America no what you say? Let a normal politician be speaking this way. Me a lawyer no, I mean him law. Me a judge, me nim anything about judgment no. Let me speak this way. But someone a professor, sounds so at the Supreme Court, judge at the Supreme Court, and judge there. Me when say you know the funny thing? Me when say your first go-to point as a judge is the law. I don't know, but for me that's how I see it too. As a judge, your first go-to point should be the law. Aside anything else. Maybe, I mean, okay, for all you know, maybe the rules of judgment nature say you can decide to go emotional. But then if the rules show say you can decide to go emotional so or you can use your own discretion to rule and all those things, yeah. Then it's serious because when you Americano, then it is left at the emotions of the judge. It will be kwakobokro no krana judging to make us because today I feel like it is a good day no me jawa mawako. Obi kwakobokro no say and then me fifie no me kunu ne me akontokwa. Anu hunti wasem eye de de na so mediate yaw. If we are saying say the judges and sometimes we need to leave everything to their discretion and not the law there. Well, then that means mami kra no chief justice na wo kwa man na tese mami kra tese on support chief justice no. Because the suspended chief justice has been on record to say that the law is the law. So we know there the law is the law. Whether a court favor or a court favor or no, they say the law is the law. And I may bother them. I don't know, but this write up from Yemame Professor H.J.A.N. Mensah Bunsu JSC no. It's I don't know. Obi say these are the let's read some comment waha and I'm showing you it's not me. Okay, enyeme She comment will be passing waha. I say these are the classes of people in the Supreme Court of Ghana. Such bizarre reasoning. And I mean America. We hear the background. I say it is Supreme Court of Ghana. Judges said to her, "Omo training. This is how they are reasoning." And ye basa. Obi asemo work no. They say, "Mama na asemo work no. Nipa ko no. Odwin ho wanti say Supreme Court judge ebe kan same way." Let me read some more comments and see what people are saying. Obinso say, where is the law in her argument? Has the courtroom become a space for opinions over legal precedent? This emotional meltdown is embarrassing. The Supreme Court Justice has a chance to face a committee, or say the Chief Justice has a chance to face a committee and clear the name. Exactly the process outlined in the Constitution. So be asked someone will be some mamene say, mamena someone walking there on tiase. Where is the law in her argument? I say, wama courtroom na babe dane ranting space just like me YouTube has say ya me babe tena ha ne bia me bo insemechi bonds nkrofo ichi no sana mame no wama asem na babe dane courtroom e was all the law ye juma no wama na dane a ranting space actually say we having emotional meltdown because the war kano utumi hu ne say she was extremely emotional. Into where is the law in her argument? I know your comment again any obviously saying that removing the head of an institution is no more difficult than removing a class prefect from office is absurdity, especially when the Constitution is being followed perfectly for the removal of the Chief Justice. No Supreme Court judge will think this way if not politically motivated. Into Obinso asema what can say say wo Supreme Court judge Oba beka say ye yi Chief Justice of Ghana akwa say ye yi class prefects ewo school bi mu no Chief Justice judge asema wo kan say be ye mbodansem o say ye absurdity nso de ye de batwe mu ye mbodansem o say Chief Justice nsem wo kan de ye mbodansem o say ye mbodansem comment na ba kono kan no especially when the president is following the law. Say president no odi constitution no eso no now Chief Justice wo kasa same way obi ehun say we are politically motivated. That's what someone is alleging. Obi say, I have never seen a judgment as bogus as this. What is this? This like asking SHS students rights about the removal of the Chief Justice does not take into account any specificity, dwells on general arguments and makes conclusion with no bearing on the specific matters in issue. Obviously, we a judge there or a chief a Supreme Court judge there. Now so wakasa to say we be our SHS students because SHS students no nim in same nim. Suko jina nim. And you see, some people on the Ghanaian media, right, especially Facebook and YouTube, no, they are not even explaining the matters well. Me who breakdown bia no be ye or say ane ye petition mahama and a mahama and so no ya petition intino or peso ye Chief Justice. People are not understanding that every single process the president is following is in the Constitution. It is the law. People are not understanding. To tell the pakona somewhere welcome obi wa SS wo nim say de mahama ye na yemra. Nti say ni pakona ye koko bisa ne say e de na odwen efa Chief Justice removal ne ho a ono na e bia wo so kan asem wi. Now wo Supreme Court judge wo ni member na so kasa say there ono wo dwen ho a wonte ase. These are comments coming from Ghanaians. Asem wo mo kan. I say, is this a direct quote and a paraphrase? I say, hey. Obi say she should rather channel all this energy to the CLC for them to consider it into the review, into the committee. Okay, into say on channel energy we call committee. Her view is a direct attack on the Constitution. Actually, say I mean directly no or attack the Constitution no. I say the way this woman was hyped as very learned when she was appointed, only for her to be writing things like this. And I'm not going to lie, it is true. When Professor H.J.A.N. Mensah Bunsu, you didn't call Supreme Court no, you had even NDC lawyers happy. Oma no more NDC lawyers be braina energy because no say mami we you be a na adwumudo wa ben. But sa NDC lawyers are now more hype no. They were omunina eba beye disappointed in her because under President Akufo-Addo she was part of the so-called unanimous 7. Assembly aba. Na afe omo a no mo hype mami ni ase mami we gu yenimu ase papa. Ni yenim se wono de at least na ko betre ne bobre no okoye no se wono so akwa follow the bandwagon. Sende na wobi eka se okai se mbra ya appoint mami se ne aye hype mami na ende de mami ne nsem a wo ka ni na toto papa so sa. Obi say I find her ruling quite interesting. She more or less left the law and offered by the fireside kind of advice. To Obi asema waka no. Okay, by the fireside. Chichi Kule by the fireside. Kwekwanansi stories. So say mame no. Ase odemrana to baby. Ena Kwekwanansi stories. Na fe oye Supreme Court. Obi say, does she care? Some of the justices don't believe in rule of law. Otherwise, they won't be so endorsing this. So Obi say, onu we hune say judges ni binankasa no. Omunje Ghana mbrendi. Because judge award Jim Brady no. On kasi asem way a worker. These are comments from Ghanaians. I see, every day these people give me reason to understand why Rawlings called for the heads of some judges. Many are nation wreckers. I swear. Just look at this coming from a whole judge. Meaning, some of the so-called judges are so empty-headed. More than I have always thought. To be say, what here, didn't ya Rawlings emre ye kum judges. Because we no mutiewu. Na judge obe kan se mu ipa dia na te se wo no hwehwe ni wutrim obi commenter wababe make, and I'm reading the comment, you are seeing it. But say, how different is this opinion? How different is this opinion differ from party communicators' opinions? No law, emotions be brave. So say judge was some working on the MPP for party communicators, no difference be the womb. Because seven someone judge make no emrabi enim emotions in kwa. Or say, where is the law in this? Obviously, judicial independence should not become judicial impunity. So a lot of people are bringing comments. Obviously, the way now at the reference here, reverence here, until because will be a reverence you be a. Send you na me booma me we pan. Mami said the obey ni. Also, you mean this is a judge speaking? There is no law here, but emotions or perhaps a party foot soldier ranting. To be because hey, we are just a judge a walk as any. We the embrebi ni ha. We one can brabia a party foot soldier. Obviously, she is not speaking law. As it doesn't sound like law to me. It's an outpouring of emotions laced with prejudice. So those are the comments from Ghanaians, and they are all bashing her, and they are saying, say, they're all Canadian. Enyemra, because judge the nankeni kwanso kasasa. Another journalist also, a friend Austin Wood, in some of Babekani. Or say that part of Judge Mensah Bonsu's dissenting opinion has really shocked me, because doesn't she know she's attacking the integrity of the two Supreme Court judges that the Constitution says should be part of the panel? And the journalist now someone walk and say, hey, Judge we are someone walk and I know 1 pound, because indirectly in the crano or attack our judges now or more ever panel neswa. Yeah, sure, almost say or more better the probing of the Chief Justice, because I walk as a dear way classroom prefect in Yemen. I said the judges no attack you because they are part of the process. These are comments from Ghanaians. Munche your comment box nimo. But that's it.